There is a massive amount of games out there to experience, and an impressive amount of quality titles in this past generation alone. As such, I thought I would look back over the PS4 exclusives we received, round up my top 10, and rank them to decide what was the best of the best. So let's get into it. Number 10. The Last Guardian. From the creators of Eco and Shadow of the Colossus, fans waited the best part of a decade for The Last Guardian to release. The simple and mysterious story of a boy who finds himself locked up in an unknown land with a Trico, a giant beast known to be monstrous and dangerous to humans. However, you'll soon be earning the trust of one another as you come to understand that each of you needs the other to have any chance of escape. The story is full of intrigue, tension, emotion, and plenty of platforming and puzzles throughout, and is a game I very easily loved my time with. Number 9. Infamous Second Son. Infamous Second Son was the first game I had on my PlayStation 4, and was one of the first games available on the console. Following the first two games of the PS3 era, Second Son acted as a fresh start for the series, with all new characters, locations, and storytelling. It tells the story of Delsin Rowe, a somewhat selfish young man who becomes a conduit, a person who has superhuman abilities by means of a conduit gene, and is considered a bioterrorist. Either become a hero or descend into an evil path. The choice is yours to make, and the consequences yours to deal with. If one thing's for certain, playing with the ever-growing superpowers is incredibly fun. Number 8. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. The final entry in the main series of Uncharted games, and Nathan Drake's final adventure, Uncharted 4 wraps up the treasure hunting saga in a grand and spectacular way. With amazing set pieces, breathtaking cinematics, addictive combat and puzzles, and a fantastic story to top it off, Uncharted 4 is truly a must-play of the generation. Better yet, the entire Nathan Drake collection is available on PS4 as well, so go ahead and play them if you haven't done so yet. Number 7. Persona 5. So Persona 5 is the game on this list I haven't yet finished. I have played it through most of the way twice, yet I never quite make it before getting distracted. Briefly put, Persona 5 is the unique story of a group of school students who happen upon the ability to enter the minds of the corrupted and evil, and set out to steal their heart so that they'll become good. A bizarre concept, but is definitely original and captivating. On top of that, the mix of life management, dungeon crawling, and turn-based battling makes for an excellent JRPG, and arguably one of the best. I will absolutely finish the game one day and love it immensely, but despite the fact that I haven't made it yet, the game still deserves its spot on this list nonetheless. Number 6. Marvel's Spider-Man. There have been an abundance of Spider-Man games in the past across various platforms. Some of them have been genuinely good, thinking back to Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2. On PS4, however, with Insomniac behind the helm, the creators behind the Ratchet & Clank series, it's no wonder that Marvel's Spider-Man is easily the best Spider-Man game by a mile. It has an amazing story, great gameplay, and most importantly, the web swinging is exactly what you want it to feel like. I cannot recommend this game enough to fans of Marvel and newcomers alike. Marvel Spider-Man on PS4 is easy to pick up and hard to put down. Number 5. Days Gone. An open world game that didn't seem to get the attention it deserves, Days Gone is one of those games I tried and loved more than I ever thought I would. Set shortly after a mass outbreak of infected, the game places you in the role of Deacon St. John, a biker who lost his wife in the outbreak and is now surviving the harsh world of infected and men. The gameplay is fun, the world is interesting, and the story is definitely memorable. What Days Gone does that makes it stand out further is the hordes and vehicles. The crowds of zombies in this game are impressive, with sometimes hundreds of them travelling together. And if they see or hear you, run. As a biker, you also of course have a bike, of which you can upgrade and customize throughout your journey. You'll unlock better parts, and you'll need to make sure you top it up with fuel. You don't want to get stranded in the middle of nowhere with hordes of infected around. Number 4. The Last of Us Part 2. The Last of Us Part 2 is a game I really enjoyed. As a sequel to a critically acclaimed game, it certainly had some big shoes to fill, and whether or not it did that is up to you. All I know is I loved the game. The gritty gameplay, emotional story, and beautifully decayed world it led you through to explore were all fantastic. A lot of aspects remained very similar to the original game, but there were also a lot of improvements. The gameplay felt broader and more varied, not just being a stealth cover shooter and instead needing some more creative solutions. Seeing the changes in the games really makes you realize just how much things evolved throughout this generation, and I can't wait to see what Naughty Dog makes in the future. Number 3. Bloodborne. Brought to us by From Software, the minds and creators behind the Dark Souls series and Demon's Souls, Bloodborne was a PlayStation 4 exclusive that took fans by storm in 2015. The dark and gritty horror-esque title took the Souls formula in a somewhat new direction, taking away the focus on defense and requiring you to use tools and weapons combined with speed to your advantage. If you've played Dark Souls or Demon's Souls but haven't yet played Bloodborne, then absolutely go for it. Just imagine the same thing, but you play as Van Helsing and the monsters are even more messed up. Number 2. God of War. As both a reboot and a sequel, God of War is the fourth main entry to the series and sees our favourite angry Greek god of war Kratos in a new land. Now living in Midgard, the world of Norse mythology, Kratos tries to forget his past and raise his son Atreus on his own. The two set out on a journey to scatter the ashes of Kratos' wife and Atreus' mother. This journey, of course, will have many complications along the way, bonding between the troubled father and son, learning about the new Kratos and how he's different, and seeing the world of Norse gods throughout. God of War is an amazing journey to take and a gaming experience to remember, and is definitely, like many on this list, a must-play. Number 1. Ghost of Tsushima. And now at number 1, we have Ghost of Tsushima. I will say, I had a hard time picking between this and God of War. I'm still not entirely decided, but here we go. Ghost of Tsushima is an amazing experience from start to finish. An open world game that pays every respect to classic samurai movies in its cinematics, its story, its culture, and its overall visual beauty. While the open world itself may not be the most revolutionary, the rest of the gameplay and the way in which it presents it to you is fantastic beyond measure. The story of a samurai forced to break his code and honor in order to free his home is a great tale, and I loved every moment. Jin Sakai will become the Ghost, a dishonorable killer who will stalk the invaders from the shadows and destroy them by any means necessary. From the intense cinematics, to the interesting side stories, to the exploration and addictive combat, everything just made for one of my favourite gaming experiences in recent years. As such, Ghost of Tsushima is, of course, a must-play. So there you have it, my top 10 personal favourite PS4 exclusives of this generation. Let us know what your favourite games are. Until next time.